Have you ever seen these sculptures on campus in Tillman Hall and wondered what they depict and why they are at Winthrop? Learn the answers to these questions and more in Art 175, a class that will introduce you to the history of art from prehistoric caves to Gothic cathedrals. We'll explore why stunning marbles carved by ancient Greeks for the Parthenon in Athens are now owned by the British government and on permanent display in London. You'll learn about how art was experienced and valued in pre-modern times. Answering such questions can help us understand why medieval pilgrims trekked hundreds of miles through the wilderness nearly 1,000 years ago to see this sculpture full of saints in heaven. You'll learn about patrons too. For example, why was Abbot Suger obsessed with stained glass, and how did medieval artisans make it? Art 175 has no prerequisites and counts in 3 Gen Ed categories. Sign up today to learn about the masterpieces of ancient and medieval civilizations.
In Arts 324, Introduction to Video, students will gain an understanding of time-based media in the historical context of conceptual art. We will go over the basics of editing in Adobe Premiere Pro and use DSLRs or camera phones to record audio and video footage. Projects include an audio-only soundtrack self-portrait, a social documentary, and mining the web for found footage. This online course will emphasize the power of the moving image and video circulation within contemporary culture.
More than ever before in the history of humanity, we live in a world dominated by images. I'm convinced that visual literacy can give you an advantage in any career field, and art appreciation is a crash course in learning to see and interpret that visual world. We start with an exploration of why we make art, and then turn to art-making techniques, looking at the work that goes into making an artwork. Along the way, we'll discover objects and artists from all over the world and throughout time. And last but not least, we'll exercise our own creative muscles through some hands-on activities. But don't worry, this course is designed for non-artists. No prior artistic experience or special skills are needed for success. Join me, won't you?
In Arts 364, Digital Photography, we will explore the creation of personal imagery through the use of the camera and manipulation in Adobe Photoshop.
Have you ever wondered, what's the coolest period of art? Well, I would say that that's modernism, the period from 1850 to 1960. In this class, we'll travel to places like Paris, New York, Berlin. We'll deal with the big issues: sex, power, identity, gender. So if you're looking for a professor who's passionate about the subject and who will make a lot of nerdy pop culture references, then look no further. Please join me for Art History 348 this summer.